Good morning all of you. Well, I welcome you all to your first English class for the academic year 2021. As you all know that your unit 1 in English has a theme of humor. What is a humor? Humor means something which makes you laugh. So today we have Edward Lear's poem The Duck and the Kangaroo. So here first we'll know about who Edward Lear was. Edward Lear was a great author, poet, artist, and he was known for literary nonsense, and he is also known as a child literature. He preferred comic drawings, and mostly he was known for what is literary nonsense. See, literary nonsense is nothing but he has mostly concentrated on limerick. What is a limerick? Limerick is nothing but a verse which is mostly frequently rude, and it has a short subject and it has a strict rhythm, and it consists of 5 lines. This is the style of Edward Lear. Now I'll show you how a rhythm 5 lines of limerick are. First, second, third stanzas. Here that mostly limericks consist of 5 lines. Now what we'll see here is in the first, second and third limerick, it consists of mostly 7 to 10 syllables. 7 to 10 syllables and third and fourth lines will be mostly shorter compared to first, second and third lines, and they consist of 5 to 7 syllables. This is the speciality of limerick. So mostly in Edward Lear has mostly concentrated in his child literature, and it was mostly a natural way of expression. Now coming to your textbook, you can go to page number 18, wherein a short description of Edward Lear is given. I'll just read it for you. Just look into your books at home. Edward Lear. He was born on 12th May 1812 and died on 29th of January 1888. He was a British artist, illustrator, author and poet, renowned today primarily for his literary nonsense in poetry and prose. In his childhood, he suffered from ill health. After a long decline in health, he died of heart disease. His principal areas of work as an artist were threefold: as a draftsman employed to illustrate birds and animals, making colored drawings during his journeys as an author. Lear is principally known for his popular nonsense works rather than a travel writer. These show a great ability to use with relish the sound of real and invented English words. The poem The Duck and the Kangaroo is a poem with a touch of light humor. So here in this poem, The Duck and the Kangaroo, the title itself tells you that we have a conversation in this poem between the duck and the kangaroo. So next class I'll tell you about the poem. Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed the class. Please go through the poem at home. Thank you. Welcome back, children. In the last class we have seen about The Duck and the Kangaroo poem, which is a part of your unit 1. As you all know that the poet of this poem The Duck and the Kangaroo is Edward Lear, and you have seen in the author's description that he is mainly known for drawing. He is a comic artist who used to draw animals and birds according to the need of the poem. And now, here in the poem, The Duck and the Kangaroo, this is the first stanza of the poem. I'll read the poem. Please repeat after me. Said the duck to the kangaroo, good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you never could stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you, said the duck to what do you see in this stanza? You can see that there is a conversation taking place. There is a duck is talking to kangaroo. Here in this stanza we see that duck is speaking to kangaroo. What is the duck saying? Said the duck to the kangaroo. What did the duck say? Good gracious, how you are. So the duck is feeling very happy and excited about the life of kangaroo. How? He said that kangaroo can hop. As you have seen, kangaroo can hop. What do you mean by hop? Hop is nothing but jump. So here you can see the duck feels happy that kangaroo can jump. And it can jump over the fields and the water too. Kangaroo can go into the fields, it can go into the water, and it can enjoy the freedom moving in the fields and in the water too. So here we can see that the duck is feeling sad that duck doesn't enjoy the freedom as the kangaroo enjoys. As if you never would stop. And duck is again telling that the freedom of movement of kangaroo in the field and water is as if the kangaroo is never going to stop. It is with that excitement the kangaroo is moving. And again the duck says, my life is a bore in this nasty pond. Here my life, this my refers to duck's life. Duck is telling that duck's life is bored. He is feeling very bored. He is not feeling any pleasantness. He is not feeling anything happy over there. He is not glad to be there in the water. My life is a bore in this nasty pond. What do you mean by nasty? Nasty means dirty pond. So, my life is a bore in this nasty pond and I long to go out in the world beyond. I long. What do you think the word long means? Long means he wishes, he desires. He has a wish to go out of the pond. He is there most of the time in the pond. So the duck has a wish to move like a kangaroo freely. And I long to go out in the world beyond. So the duck wants to experience the nature. The duck wants to go to different places and enjoy the nature like a kangaroo does. I wish I could hop like you. So here in this stanza you can see that the duck is expressing his wish to lead a life like a kangaroo. Said the duck to the kangaroo. Said the duck to the kangaroo. What did you see in this? Again I repeat the poem. Repeat after me. Said the duck to the kangaroo, good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you never would stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you, said the duck to the kangaroo. Now, what did you see in this stanza? What do you see? Now let us speak about the literary device which is there in this stanza. If you will see this line, and this line is saying, said the duck to the kangaroo, the first line, and said the duck to the kangaroo, the last line of the stanzas are the same. They are called as refrain. They are called as refrain or alliteration. Repetition. Repetition. You have seen that set the duck to the kangaroo, set the duck to the kangaroo. The same line is repeated in the first stanza, in the first line and the last line. Why do you think this repetition is? To give a rhythm. To give a rhythm to the stanza, and it shows the urgency. Set the duck to the kangaroo, set the duck to the kangaroo. This line shows the urgency and the repetition. So now, coming to this, so one of the literary device which you found in this stanza is the repetition that is refrain, and next one is alliteration. What is an alliteration? Now here you can see these two words. Good, gracious. How, haw. They are the similar consonants G, G, H, H. So here when two consecutive consonants are repeated, it is called as alliteration. So here you can see that here G and here G. This is called as an alliteration. Here again you have H and again you have H sound here. So this is alliteration. So now in this stanza we have these two literary devices. One is repetition and the second one is alliteration. So here we are done with the stanza 1. Once again, please repeat the poem with me. And one more thing I would like to tell you. Now you can see the rhyming rhythm in this. The rhyming rhythm is in the pattern A, B, A, B, C, C, A, A. Now you can see A, B, A, B, C, C, A, B. Why do you think I have written this A, B, A, B, C, C, A, A? Now you can see kangaroo, 2. These two are rhyming. So this is A, A. Again, where is A? U, kangaroo. Here these are rhyming. So the rhyming pattern of this first stanza is A, B, A, B, C, C, A, A. Now here hop, stop. Hop and stop are rhyming. Pond and beyond are rhyming. U and kangaroo are rhyming. So the rhyming pattern of this stanza is A, B, A, B, C, C, A, A. So once again, please see. Set the duck to the kangaroo, set the duck to the kangaroo. These are the lines which are repeated in the first stanza in the beginning and in the end. This repetition of this sentence is to give a rhythm to the stanza, to give a rhythm and show the urgency of the matter, how duck is in urgency to talk to kangaroo about the freedom it is enjoying. Set the duck to the kangaroo. Repeat after me please. Set the duck to the kangaroo. Good gracious, how you walk over the fields and the water too. As if I never could stop. My life is a bird in this maze-deep pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you. Set the duck to the kangaroo. Now, in the same way, there is a second stanza, there is third stanza, there is fourth stanza, there are 5 stanzas in the poem. So, in the first stanza, what are the literary devices we have found? Repetition and alliteration. Repetition and alliteration. So, this is alliteration. See, set the duck to the kangaroo, set the duck to the kangaroo. This sentence is repeated to give a rhythm to the stanza. And good gracious, the same consonant sound is consecutively repeating. So that is an alliteration. How you hop, your H consonant is consecutively repeating. So this is the alliteration. Hope you have enjoyed the class today and you are you know about what did we all learn in this class today? We have learned about 2 literary devices, that is repetition and alliteration. Hope you will revise this and next class we will be ready with the